Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, October 16th, 2024. Today we'll do MLB playoffs, college football, NHL, WNBA finals, game number 3. We have golf. We have Survivor to talk about, news and notes, and best bet. We'll start the baseball playoffs. We will recap the lone game from yesterday and look ahead to today's lone game. ALCS game number 2. Yankees over the Guardians 6-3 to take a 2-0 series lead. Clay Holmes the win, Tanner Bibay the loss. A lot went wrong for the Yankees in this game, but a lot went right for the Yankees in this game as well. I think the sloppy play of the Guardians and they feel intimidated is why they're trailing in the series. The series is not over by any stretch of the imagination, in my opinion, because I think the Guardians are going to be a different animal in their home ballpark. But the Yankees, being up 2-0 is being up 2-0, and that's the bottom line of the playoffs. I mean, the Yankees had 2 outs on the bases in the same inning, for crying out loud. I mean, that's been a problem all season, but that's the first time it's happened in the playoffs. Boy, was that frustrating. But after that was the Judge homer, so all was well again. So bottom of the first, the error by the shortstop on Cleveland, Brian Rocchio. He dropped the ball a la Luis Castillo, and the Yankees score a run as Glaber scores, and it's 1-0 Yankees as Judge hit the pop-up, and then Rocchio dropped the ball. Bottom of the second, RBI double, Alex Verdugo, 2-0 Yankees. And then sac fly, Aaron Judge, 3-0 Yankees. Top of the fifth, sac fly, Josh Naylor, 3-1. Fielder's choice, Will Brennan makes it 3-2. Bottom of the sixth, RBI double, Anthony Rizzo makes it 4-2. And that was the same inning as the base running blunders, too, which was frustrating, or else it could have been a bigger lead for the Yanks. Bottom of the seventh, home run, Aaron Judge made it 6-2. That gave him some breathing room. Top of the ninth, Jose Ramirez home run off of Luke Weaver made it 6-3. If there was ever a game for Luke Weaver to look human in, it was last night when the Yankees were up 4. I mean, Aaron Boone, I think, made all the right decisions in this game. I mean, the base running blunders were the players' faults of their own, but the one mistake he did make was challenging the Jazz Chisholm one. But that's more on Jazz Chisholm because Jazz Chisholm thought he was safe, and yeah. Kind of a frustrating game, but at the same time, a win's a win, and on the Cleveland for Game 3 tomorrow night. So, tonight, 8 o'clock, Fox Sports 1, Dodgers-Mets. From Queens, Citi Field is going to be absolutely rocking. I cannot wait for this game. Dodgers minus 116, Mets minus 102. Excuse me. Over under 7.5, overs minus 105, others minus 115. Dodgers minus 1.5 plus 146, Mets plus 1.5 is minus 178. You guys know where I'm going here. You guys know it. Mets minus 102. You're home. You must win. At least you got to at least win 2. Because I think the Mets can absolutely win a clincher in LA. So I think the Mets win tonight. And it's Walker Buehler, Luis Severino on the mound. Severino's had sketchy playoff history at the Yankees, but he's also had some decent playoff moments in his career as well. Walker Buehler hasn't been really good all season. So I like the Mets at minus 102 to win this game and take a 2-1 series lead, and then we'll be 4 more combined wins away from the Subway Series. Now we'll move on to college football. We will go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight's 2 games. South Alabama over Troy 25-9. Middle Tennessee over Kennesaw State 14-5. And New Mexico State over Louisiana Tech 33-30 in double overtime. So, looks like two of the underdogs covered. Tonight, 7 o'clock on ESPN2, Western Kentucky, Sam Houston. So, another Conference USA game. My line is Sam Houston by 5, total 53 and 17/20. And it's 2.5 and 55.5. I'm going to lay the 2.5 with Sam Houston. I just think they're better. And 9 o'clock on CBS Sports Network, FIU, UTEP. Mine's FIU by 2.5, total 53. And it's 7.5 and 47.5. That's a little bit of a difficult one. But I'm going to go with the over. And I actually like that pick better than taking UTEP in the points. Because UTEP's winless. Okay, now move on to the NHL. We will recap yesterday's games and look ahead to today's games. Lightning over the Canucks 4-1. Caps over the Golden Knights 4-2. Hurricanes over the Devils 4-2. Panthers over the Jackets 4-3. Wild over the Blues 4-1. Kraken over the Preds 7-3. Stars over the Sharks 3-2 in a shootout. Flames over the Blackhawks 3-1. Oilers over the Flyers 4-3 in overtime on a game winner by Leon Draisaitl. That was you can't underestimate how big of a win that was for Edmonton. And that's what I should have picked for best bet, but I didn't. And I don't even know if I won best bet or not. All right, 7 o'clock on True TV, TNT, and Max. Sabres, Penguins. Why are the Sabres on national TV? I don't know. They stink. 1-3-0. The Pens are only minus 128. Buffalo's plus 106. Over under 6.5. Overs plus 104. Unders minus 128. Buffalo plus 1.5 is minus 135. Pens minus 1.5 plus 190. Over at plus money. 7:30 Kings Maple Leafs. Leafs minus 270. Kings plus 140. Over under 6.5. Overs plus 102. Unders minus 124. Kings plus 1.5 is minus 170. Leafs minus 1.5 plus 140. I like the over at plus money here as well. 9:30 True TV, TNT, and Max. Bruins Avs. The Avalanche have to be favored here. Minus 120 to Bruins, 3 for money, over under 6.5. Overs minus 104, unders minus 118. Bruins plus 1.5 is minus 250. Avs minus 1.5 plus 202. I went with the under in an Avs game. And it cost me best bet the other day, but I'm going to go to the over instead. The Avs are winless, so they need the game. And at 10 o'clock is Utah Ducks. Utah minus 130, Ducks plus 108. Over under 6.5, overs plus 106, unders minus 130. Utah minus 1.5 plus 188, Ducks plus 1.5 is minus 230. By the way, it's minus 130 and Ducks is plus 108. I'm also going to go with the over. So I'm going to go all overs in these games because I feel like this has been an over stretch that we're in right now in hockey. Okay, now move on to the WNBA Finals. Game number 3 tonight on ABC, or not ABC, on ESPN, 8 o'clock, Liberty Lynx. So this game's going on at the same time as the Mets. So the Liberty are giving 3.5 totals, 116.5. I'm taking the Lynx getting the 3.5, and I think they're going to potentially win too. They're plus 138. I know the Liberty are the better team, but the fact that there's a hook there makes me want to take the Lynx. I think the Lynx win this game outright. The Liberty blowing game 1 the way they did. I know they bounced back in game 2, but the Lynx are home, and I think that crowd's going to be ruckus. So I'm going to take the Lynx getting the 3.5, and I'm willing to take the plus 138 for them to win outright as well. Okay, now I'll move on to soccer. I forgot to mention that in the open, but we have games to go over. I have games to look at for today. Friendly results. Hong Kong over Cambodia 3-0. Canada over Panama 2-1. And Mexico over U.S. 2-0. UEFA Nations League group stage. Belarus, Luxembourg 1-1 draw. Kosovo over Cyprus 3-0. North Ireland over Bulgaria 5-0. Poland, Croatia 3-3 draw. Scotland, Portugal 0-0 draw. Switzerland, Denmark 2-2 draw. Spain over Serbia 3-0. Romania over Lithuania 2-1. But no group stage games until November 14th. That's good to know. CONMEBOL. Colombia over Chile 4-0. Paraguay over Venezuela 2-1. Uruguay, Ecuador 0-0 draw. Argentina over Bolivia 6-0. Brazil over Peru 4-0. This returns November 14th as well, so we have a month off from this. Asian qualifying. All right. Japan, Australia 1-1 draw. South Korea over Iraq 3-2. China over Indonesia 2-1. Kyrgyzstan over North Korea 1-0. Uzbekistan over UAE 1-0. Palestine, Kuwait 2-2 draw. Jordan over Oman 4-0. Iran over Qatar 4-1. And Saudi Arabia and Bahrain 0-0 draw. And in Africa, Sudan over Ghana 2-0. Senegal over Malawi 1-0. Congo DR over Tanzania 2-0. Zambia over Chad 1-0. Gabon over Lesotho 2-0. Uganda over South Sudan 2-1. Guinea-Bissau, Mali 0-0 draw. Congo, South Africa 1-1 draw. Egypt over Mauritania 1-0. Botswana over Cape Verde 1-0. Sierra Leone over Ivory Coast 1-0. Angola over Nigeria 1-0. Rwanda over Benin 2-1. Guinea over Ethiopia 3-0. Libya, Nigeria was postponed. Comoros, Tunisia 1-1 draw. And Morocco over Central Africa Republic 4-0. Gotta be honest, I don't even remember what I gave out for best bet. Maybe it was the over in that hockey game. Or was it a Nations League game? I honestly don't remember. But I don't think I won it. And I'm just going to see if there's any notable soccer games today before we move on. So we have a USL game today. El Paso and Orange County at 9 o'clock. Let's see if there's odds. Yes. El Paso plus 120, Orange County plus 190, draw plus 230. I'm going to go with Orange County at home at plus 120. So that's the only notable soccer that we have today, which is fine. All right, now move on to golf. We have a tournament that is going to be happening coming up. It's the Shriners Children's Open from TPC Summerlin in Vegas. Notable tee times: 9:55 Ben Silverman, Matthew Neesmith, Robbie Shelton, Sean Kim, Ryan Moore, Bud Qualley. 10:06 Harry Springer, Alex Smalley, Paul Fishburne, S.H. Kim, Callum Tarrant, Michael Kim. 10:17 Justin Sue, Ryan Hoey, Ben Griffin, Sammy Valimaki, Charlie Hoffman, Ben Coles. 10:28 Austin Eckroat, Taylor Pendrith, Ricky Fowler, Nate Taylor, Gary Woodland, Francisco Molinari. 10:39 JT Potson, Taylor Moore, Lucas Hodges, Luke List, Jonathan Vegas, Harry English. 10:50 Robert Brem, Harry Hall, Webb Simpson, Daniel Berger, Community of Vegas, Kyung-Gu Lee. 11:01 Chad Ramey, Davis Riley, Seamus Power, Chris Goddard, Adam Svensson, Matt Kuchar. 11:12 Eric Cole, Nate Lashley, Scott Piercy, Carson Young, Zach Blair, Trey Merritt. 11:23 Matthias Schmid, Taylor Montgomery, CT Pond, Davis Gins, Roger Sloan, Davis Lipsky. 11:34 Tyson Alexander, Mark Hubbard, Alejandro Tassi, Will Gordon, Brandon Wu, and Chasen Hadley. 11:34 Tyson Alexander, Mark Hubbard, Alejandro Tassi, Will Gordon, Brandon Wu, Chasen Hadley. 11:45 Trevor Crow, Ryan McCormick, Kevin Doherty. 2:45 Henrik Norlander, Joel Donovan, Chandler Phillips, Grayson C., Keith Mitchell, Vincent Whaley. 2:56 Doug Gim, Tyler Duncan, Sam Ryder, Joseph Bridgman, Kevin Strellman, Joseph Burnlett. 3:07 Andrew Novak, Kaden Buckley, Pearson Cootie. Dylan Wu, Alex Badley, Ryan Palmer. 318, J.J. Spawn, Nate Hardy, Nicholas Echeverria. 329, Stephon Yeager, Champ. Taylor Hogue, Cam Davis, Brendan Todd, Adam Putnam. 340, Pat Gazier, Trey Mullinax, Kirk Katayama, Evan Van Royen, Chesner V, Davis Thompson. 351, Adam Schenk, Bryce Garnett, Kevin Kisner, Adam Hadwin, Emiliano Grillo, Peter Malnati. 402, Ryan Fox, YCU1, Ben Taylor, Danny Willett, Bayo Hostler, Matt McNeely. 413, Justin Lauer, Grayson Higo, Scott Stevens, Martin Laird. 424, Alexander Short, Trevor Whitney, Paul Barjan. It's 435 with Nate Shipley and Raja Campos. So this is a hard pick. Tom Kim won this last year. The year before, it was Tom Kim again. He's probably the favorite. Sanjay Im won it 3 years ago. And the COVID year, I don't know if they even had it. Yeah, Martin Laird in the playoff. So, Tom Kim's owned this. You know he's probably going to be favored in this thing. So best bet did win. I had Paraguay against Venezuela. I wasn't sure. But I had for best bet yesterday. So yeah, he's a 12-1 favorite. I kind of want to pick somebody else just to be different. Cam Davis is interesting at 40-1, so I'm going to give him out. Cam Davis, 40-1 to win the Shriners Children Open. All right, Survivors tonight. 8 o'clock on CBS. We talked about the episode on the Monday show. I will just talk about what went down. Reward challenge, immunity challenge, same thing. Everybody worked together, pushed the heavy cube down the path, and somebody climbed the cube to retrieve bags. One person assembled a hollow square and tossed the bags through onto a barrel. And 2 players then assembled a vertical flame-shaped puzzle. And the first who tries to finish won immunity plus chickens for first place and eggs, or 6 eggs for second. So, winning the challenge was Gata, then Tuca came in second, and Lavo came in third. It was the same exact order as the episode prior. Then came Tribal, and they pulled off a great blindside of Keyshawn as Rome stole Keyshawn's vote, and they all voted out Keyshawn, and Teeny didn't have a vote because of the journey. So big superlatives. I think Sam's gonna win as of right now, and I think tonight's episode, Tatiana will be my pick to go home from Tuku. All right, now move on to the news and notes for today. Very brutal news for the New York Football Giants. Andrew Thomas has foot surgery, so he'll miss the rest of the year due to Liz Frank injury. That's a big loss for the Giants. That means you're not going anywhere. Start thinking about trading guys that aren't going to be a part of your long-term future. That's what that injury is. I'm sorry. Andrew Thomas is that important to the Giants. He's like a quarterback of offensive lines. Daniel Jones plays well when he's on the field and healthy, and he doesn't play well when he's not there. He is literally the key to Daniel Jones' success, and now you're not going to have him for the whole season. So, if I'm the Giants, just trade veterans that aren't going to be a part of the future and just build around Malik Neighbors, and that's it. I know people are going to be calling about Dexter Lawrence. It's similar to Max Crosby with the Raiders. Same thing. Would I trade him only for the right offer? Because there's an avenue. I mean, it's the NFL, and you could be one great draft pick or one great signing away from being good. Or a good coach away from being good or whatever. And this injury, I mean, it's fair to say might cost Brian Daboll his job. Like, that's how big of an injury I think this is to the Giants. And, I mean, I've been proven wrong. In a bigger extent, I said on the Monday podcast that I think that the Aiden Hutchinson injury removes Detroit from the list of Super Bowl contenders because they can't win the Super Bowl without him. To me, they have to trade for Max Crosby, or else they probably won't win the Super Bowl. Unless if they get, like, Clowney, maybe, or somebody like that. Like they could go back to being a contender with Clowney, but, like, he's not Aiden Hutchinson. But it's a different situation with the Giants, who are a bad team and who are rebuilding again. And Andrew Thomas is somebody that was going to be around a long time, and now he's obviously injured and lost for the season. So, to me, this injury should swing the Giants into the direction where the Raiders are, selling. And the Browns, too. They traded Amari Cooper, which is crazy, which we're going to talk about right now. So, the Jets get Devontae Adams. That's feels a panicky trade for me after that loss. I do think that makes the Jets better as long as he's on the field and healthy. That was obviously the best receiver Aaron Rodgers had in Green Bay. And I think Adams is going to be rejuvenated with Rodgers. And the Jets do have some winnable games coming up to get themselves back in the mix in the AFC East and the AFC playoff picture. So, to me, it was a good move for the Jets, a move they had to make because Mike Williams isn't the answer. His drop cost the Jets a chance to potentially tie or win the game the other day. Or not drop, but his bad route that led to that interception. And him and Garrett Wilson together, I think, is a really good 1-2 punch. And then he plans to play against the Steelers on Sunday night, which is great. And then the other big trade was that Amari Cooper got traded to the Bills. I love that trade for Buffalo. I actually like that trade for Buffalo more than I like the Adams deal for the Jets. I think it's going to be more impactful only because the Bills needed a WR1. I mean, Keon Coleman is good. Shakir's had some moments, but to me he's a number 3. So I absolutely love this deal for the Bills. And then the Adams trade is that they're sending a conditional 3rd round to the Raiders that could become a 2nd. And I believe it's a 3rd going to Cleveland for Amari Cooper. So looks like the Browns are blowing up. The Raiders might be blowing it up, and I think the Giants should blow it up in the wake of the Andrew Thomas injury. So, Yamal may make Classic going Bayern as he's set to be fit for next week's key Barcelona game, so that's good. Tuchel in England talks as he could confirm appointment quickly. Travis Hunter expected to play against Arizona amid shoulder injury. The Women's College AP poll came out. So, I want to pull up the rankings really quickly for women's. So South Carolina, UConn, USC, Texas, UCLA. 6 through 10 is Notre Dame, LSU, Iowa State, North Carolina State, Oklahoma. 11 through 15, Duke, Baylor, Kansas State, Ohio State, Carolina. 16 through 28. Excuse me. West Virginia, Louisville, Maryland, Florida State, Ole Miss, and in 21-25, Creighton, Kentucky, Nebraska, Alabama, Indiana. Others receiving votes: Iowa, TCU, Utah, Illinois, Stanford, Gonzaga, Michigan State, Vandy, South Dakota State, Miami, Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, Fairfield, Georgia Tech, Syracuse, Princeton. That's a nice top 5. I think Iowa's going to take a step back in women's, obviously without Caitlin Clark. And I think the usual suspects are up there for women's. And then the men's came out. Is the men's one out? The ACC one is out. But that's going to be interesting when that one comes out. The SEC and the Big Ten are working on a college football deal as conferences discussing a potential scheduling agreement that could boost rights revenue. And the NCAA is investigating Oregon as Rules Committee looking at Ducks' use of 12-man loophole against Ohio State. The Mets are wearing their black uniforms for NLCS Game 3, which is interesting. So there was a scare with Paul George as there was some speculation about his injury, but he has a bone bruise in his knee as he does not have structural damage and will be reevaluated in 1 week. And Paul George has got the imagining on the knee as Nick Nurse said he was okay after leaving the preseason game early. The Pistons have a new dress code as J.P. Bickerstaff prohibits players from pulling hoodies over their heads during practice. And the Grizzlies are signing Scottie Pippen Jr. The Columbus Blue Jackets honor Johnny Gaudreau in their home opener as they raised a banner for him before first home game of the season, which was really nice. That must have been an emotional scene. Aaron Judge on Soto's intentional walk as he was unbothered by it. So the Trop won't be ready for the opener as the Rays unlikely to start the season at home after damage from Hurricane Milton. That's not great. Now the question is, where will they play? Will they play in Atlanta? Will they play some of their home games in Miami? I remember during one hurricane, they couldn't play at home, that they played their home games at Citi Field, and the Yankees were playing them, and they're like Yankee home games. Not that the Trop isn't like a Yankee home game sometimes, but like it felt like more like it because they were playing at Citi Field. The Phillies extend Rob Thompson through 2026. Entire staff will be back next season. Right call. I think they just ran into a hot Mets team. Team that fell apart down the stretch. I mean, who are they gonna hire? It's kind of like the Yankees with Aaron Boone. Like if the Yankees were to blow this Guardian series, like what are you gonna do? So I think they did the right thing. San Francisco is getting a new pitching coach as Brian Price stepping aside after one season with the Giants. Jake West, who's a TikTok star, committed to Northwestern over Florida and VCU. The Giants felt tampered, or they felt like the Eagles tampered with Saquon Barkley. They believe that the framework of Saquon's Philly contract was done before negotiating window. A lot of people think that. It wasn't just the Giants. I think the entire league felt that way. The crowd chanted for Bronny to check in, and they got him late in the preseason game the other night. All right, a lot of football stuff. Lions add pass rusher as they plan to sign Isaiah Thomas off Bengals practice squad after a Hutchinson injury. Hassan Reddick could seek a trade as they give pass rusher an agent a short window to explore a deal. I think that's a good Lion. That's someone that the Lions could use. The Jets are paying the rest of Adams' deals. They're off the hook with Adams' salary. We'll see if they end up moving Mike Williams. And how about this? The Steelers are starting Russell Wilson over Justin Fields amid the 4-2 start. That's crazy. I mean, Justin Fields didn't play well against the Raiders, but he has gotten worse by the week, and Russell Wilson was supposed to be the starter before the season anyway. I feel like that's why they're doing it. I would have kept Fields out there, but We'll see how that works. I think they can get away with it because they're the Steelers. The Vikings acquire Cam Akers from the Texans. So that's their RB2 now behind Aaron Jones. So, yeah, the Browns got a third rounder for Amari. Jerry Jones says the Cowboys won't be active as he doesn't expect to make moves ahead of the November 5th trade deadline. I mean, if they want to be good, I mean, they should, but they're just cap-strapped. The D-Hop trade is unlikely right now, so the Titans aren't eager to move Hopkins after other wide receiver deals. And then the Raiders owner, Mark Davis, says we won't trade Max as he shuts down speculation after Devontae trade. And Mark Davis also says that Brady may help pick a quarterback as he teases that he could be involved in finding Raiders a new quarterback. And then some other NFL news other than Brady's ownership stake in the Raiders getting approved 5%. So that's pretty cool. Atlanta's to host Super Bowl in 2028, which is Super Bowl 62. And then Aaron Rodgers blamed Mike Williams on the game-losing interception, as he says his route was wrong. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. I know there was a lot of news and notes and a lot of trades that we had to talk about, and a big injury to Andrew Thomas. So I'm going to go all in on this best bet. I'm going to lay 1/25 of a unit on the over in the Sabres-Penguins game. So we're going over 6.5 plus 104 the Sabres-Penguins. I just think that is a really good pick. So there you have it for the show. I'm so sorry. That'll be it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything and looking ahead to everything tomorrow. As well, we have Thursday Night Football tomorrow between the Saints and the Broncos that we're looking forward to. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.